Welcome back to Local Legends. Thanks to the Inside Game and also thanks to the Crown Inn in Kingston SE. On the sea, go and find the Crown Inn and enjoy yourself a pint and a palmy or a pub meal of your choice. It's a great place to relax. Every now and then you sit down for a conversation that stays with you long after the recording finishes, and today's guest is one of those. Max Luca is a personal trainer, coach, and someone who's faced challenges that many people couldn't even begin to imagine. Yet throughout this conversation, what stood out wasn't limitation. It was resilience, perspective, and an unwavering determination to keep moving forward. This is an honest, emotional, and ultimately inspiring conversation about adversity, identity, mindset, and what it means to keep showing up when life doesn't always go to plan. I genuinely love this chat, and I'm sure you will too. This is Local Legends with Max Luca. Welcome to Local Legends to Max Luca. Max is in Brisbane. He's also a health and fitness coach. Do you still work at the gym, Max?
Yeah, I still do.
Anytime gym, is that right?
Anytime fitness, that's right.
That's the one. Okay. So yeah, welcome to the show. Thanks for your time, and hope it's a lovely day in Brisbane.
It's one of those ones. It's a bit on and off. It's not cold, but it's a little bit rainy and windy. But still good.
Still Brisbane.
Yeah, still Brisbane. That's right. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Yeah. So let's just start. As I like to start generally, right at the beginning. Your first sort of movements towards having an active and healthy lifestyle, and the sports that you played as a youngster.
Yeah. Well, health and fitness is my life. I'm at the age of 26, turning 27 later, but health and fitness is my life, and I've done lots of things for qualifications and everything like that. And it originally began. I've been into footy my whole life, AFL.
Yep.
Those people that want to know what footy means. But I played AFL when I was younger at my local club in the Sunshine Coast, and always loved it so much. And then when I began a bit of the teenage age, that's when I started to learn a little bit more about other ways of fitness. So, for example, gym and everything like that. So the footy training and then the footy games, but then in between I'd go to the gym and I'd do my own thing,
yep.
Which was good. And that's where I started to learn and love it a bit more. And then when I was 18, I had to stop playing AFL, which was a bit of a shocking and in a different way, kind of heartbreaking thing, had to stop that. But luckily enough, I could still continue my general health and fitness with gym and stuff like that, just a bit more focused on that. So yeah.
Yeah, great. So, I mean, I know why, but for the people listening, can you share on the reasons that you had to stop AFL?
Yeah. Well, I was playing for pretty much my whole life. I was in Auskick and everything like that when I was a young kid, and then my local team, I was in, under 12s and went up and up and up. And I was 18 years old. And that is actually when I got diagnosed with epilepsy. And that is my brain injury. And I have different kinds of seizures, or fits is what many people know them as. And I have absent seizures and focal seizures. So I, for example, just randomly stop doing what I'm doing, stay still, slightly wobbly a little bit, but I don't fall over, which is good, unlike many other people. But I stop and I'm essentially unconscious, and then stop talking and just staring off. I look kind of confused or something like that. And then that's about a minute or two. But originally it was about maybe 2 minutes. And then, then when I officially got diagnosed with that, my doctor and my GP and my neurologist and all the neuroscientists and stuff said, okay, Max, we're very sorry, but no more contact sports, and yeah, that was AFL, had to end there.
Yeah. That's a hard thing to take as a young bloke who loves the game.
Yeah.
But so just if you can just have a quick think back, what was worse? I mean, as a young bloke, um, told to do something, to stop doing something he loved, what was worse, the actual diagnosis of epilepsy or the fact that it's going to impact your life in ways you don't want?
I suppose the it's different for different people, but for me and my family, it was kind of the diagnosis was slightly um I won't say enjoyable, but slightly opening, because
Yep,
it had been so long without knowing what it was and everything like that, and just having to go through with it and just having to deal with it, talk to the GP and everything. So then when I got diagnosed at the age of 18, it was kind of relieving,
there was
I
a path.
suppose.
There was a path there you could take from there, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And it was kind of like, oh, finally, we figured it out. We know what it is now.
yep,
And then the annoying or stressful part, I'll say, is the restrictions that I had
yep,
then. So I stopped being able to play any contact sport. I officially wasn't allowed to drive, and I'm at the age of 26, and I haven't driven.
right,
Can't drive until I have up to a year seizure free, and then have to get a few tests, and then if passed, then I can drive, but it's been a long time. And
yep.
then so yeah, the diagnosis was kind of relieving, um, but then the restrictions were a bit of the hard part.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that yeah, having to stop doing those things you love would probably be just as hard, if not. And as you explained
Mm,
perfectly, mate, it's the diagnosis itself gives you a path, and then whereas it's also stopped other paths. So
that's right.
yeah, hard to deal with. Hard to deal with. And how did you deal with those, mate, at the time? Do you remember?
Well, I remember before I got diagnosed, because actually I didn't mention it, but my seizures began at the age of around 11 or 12. Um, and that was, of course, as a male or a boy back then, that was the beginning of puberty.
Yep.
So, hormones in my body just rushing around. And then because my seizures or fits, if you want to say, aren't the most commonly known or the one that majority of public know about, um, my family and I didn't know it was epilepsy,
Yeah.
and neither did my GP. With no disrespect to him, back then, he didn't know. Because, for example, the tonic-clonic seizure is the typical one that most people know about.
Yep.
And that's, of course, you would know, Mark, falling to the floor, possibly shaking and possibly frothing at the mouth. And so then it's a bit more dangerous, slightly more dangerous, of course.
Yep.
Um, so it wasn't that. So then we were going, what's going on with Max? He just stops walking and doesn't talk, and then he slowly comes back. What's going on?
Yep.
So then yeah, it was like that. And then with the diagnosis finally when I was 18, that was because my family and I were on holiday, and I was asleep in a big hotel room with my family, and they saw me when I was asleep have a nocturnal tonic-clonic.
Right.
So I was asleep and started shaking in bed. And then that kind of clicked it, I suppose,
Yep.
simple way to say it. And they went, maybe this is what happens in his room at home.
Mm.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So then we went to another doctor, neuroscientist, neurologist. Finally, at the age of 18, figured out what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So was there a lot of emphasis on the safer ways for health and fitness after that? Is that what sort of got you into more of the gym side of things?
Um, it, with age, that did get me more into it, slowly, of course, oh, damn, I want to look like that guy, oh, damn, I want my body to be a bit better,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
then also, of course, yes, because I wasn't allowed to do full sport anymore. So I was like, okay, for my health and fitness part, I'll just stay with the gym. That's okay. But then also for my health and safety, I had to change slight things or alter the ways I did things. So um, pay attention to my breathing,
Right.
pay attention to my heart rate and my blood flow, and also my focus. Um, so really, really focus on those things, but then also focus on if I have my aura or pre-seizure feeling. That's what many people know about. So, for example, I might be in the gym lifting some weights, and then my aura or pre-seizure feeling is quite unique. I still, at this age, don't know how to explain it.
Okay.
The closest I can relate it to is the typical thing that people know about, which is standing up too quick
Oh
and
yeah.
slight dizziness. So I'm talking to you, for example, and then I just go, "Oh," and I can't explain it. I can't say it,
Hmm.
but then the seizure happens.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
about 15 seconds roughly.
I was just going
So
to ask. So it's reasonably quick in between that time.
yeah,
Yeah.
reasonably quick. So then, if I'm lifting weights or on a machine, I'll say, I'll quickly put them down, quickly pause my music in my headphones, and then just go, okay. And then usually, most likely, a seizure will happen. But
Okay.
luckily, I am a bit safer in a way.
Yeah. So there's
Yeah,
obviously been a lot of different things that you've had to implement
yeah,
because of that diagnosis and because of obviously, like you said, the safety is always first.
yeah.
Um, do you, do you have any sort of moments where you've doubted that maybe you should just stay home, or maybe do you ever get those sort of self doubts and fears that keep you back?
I don't, I don't believe so. With myself, I don't believe so because one, because I have been dealing with it for so long, from a young age, in that middle time, puberty beginning and then young teenager and things like that. I was dealing with it for so long, and I can still do the basic things in life and daily things.
Yep.
So I'm still fine to live by myself. I'm still fine to get public transport by myself and everything. And I can still do lots of jobs for careers. There are some that I can't do anymore. For example, at a young age, I wanted to be a police officer or be in the Australian Defence Force, Army,
Yep.
military or anything like that. But then, so those things had to stop, but
Yep.
other things didn't. I'm still allowed to go to the gym. Oh, thank goodness. I'm still allowed to be a manager at a shopping center or something like that. Any, basic job, which is good, or even have my own business,
Yep.
something like that. That sort of kept me up, I suppose. And then with no arrogance, my confidence has stayed with me with that. And a very good common word or quote I say that I've made myself and I share it a lot is having a disability does not make you disabled to succeed in life.
Yeah.
So, yes, unfortunately, you do have to stop doing certain things, but there are some things that you don't have to stop. Even
Yeah.
if you need to change some things, it's all right. Keep going.
What a brilliant perspective, mate. That's learnable for everybody right there. Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing
Yeah.
that.
No
Now,
worries.
just build on what something you just mentioned. You can run a business now. You do.
Mhm.
Can you tell me the reasons behind wanting to do that for a
Yeah,
start,
of
and
course.
and, and obviously what it is while you're there?
Yeah. Well, main job, full time, for another company, which is Anytime Fitness, the franchise gym. I'm an assistant manager for that in Brisbane, in South Brisbane,
Yep.
and um, that's one thing. But then also my personal business is online coaching or personal training.
Yep.
And that's because I have grown up in this fitness and health industry. I've worked at different gyms just as staff or receptionist, I'll say. And then when I got my qualifications for a personal trainer, they're the people that you see at the gym standing next to somebody training them.
Yep.
That's face to face. So I was doing that for a while at my local gym when I lived in the Sunshine Coast. And then moved to Brisbane, still wanted to do that a little bit, but I wanted to learn slightly more about my about the admin side of the gym. or
Right.
admin side of health and fitness. So I went, oh, okay, I'll push that personal training part to the side and I'll just learn about this. So then started managing gyms and stuff. And I was doing a lot on social media with my influencing and things like that. So a lot to do with my epilepsy struggle in
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
but my also share my, opinions and my success and everything and advice. But then and then one day I just went, why haven't you connected your Instagram or social media with your previous personal training? And because I had learned and I started seeing so many online coaching. And that
Yes.
that is the main thing in the fitness and health industry nowadays is online coaching. So meeting somebody online anyway, Instagram, for example, is a main one, or maybe YouTube if you do those videos and things like that. And then you get in contact with people and you go, oh, hey, you're interested in your fitness and health. And then that starts my connection with them. And then it goes from there and I become their coach. And it's a bit different to face, one-on-one personal training.
Yeah.
You don't need to, pick up your calendar and go, okay, I'm available on this day at this time. What about you?
Mm.
And then you go, yeah, all right, let's meet up at the gym. But then now it's just sometimes face to face or video chats like this as a consultation, I'll say, and then sometimes weekly catch ups. Um, and then we're connected through phone or WhatsApp is a good thing. And then they have a program written personally, fully personalized on their phone. So they just go to the gym and they see day number one. Okay, cool. So I'll do this first and then I'll do this first. It's maybe shoulder day, I'll say.
Yep.
Simple. And then then they click on the thing and then they click completed and I get a notification on my thing. I'll say Mark has completed shoulders and chest day. And I go, oh, awesome. Awesome. That's great. And so we stay connected in
Yeah.
that way.
Great. Yeah. That's great. That sounds
Yeah.
like it would work really well for people.
It works really well because we don't have to be fully connected
Yeah.
each day. It's fully written and everything given to them, and then it's go, hey, please, because we've talked about your fitness and health goals and what you want to do. So here's the thing, go anytime you can. So it's very um makes it more successful or makes it
Yep.
more makes them more able to succeed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Gotcha. And obviously you can obviously coach anybody anywhere.
that's right. Yeah, anywhere.
Mm.
Hmm.
Great. Well, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So this might seem like a funny question at the start, but let me get through it.
Yeah.
You do you feel like an inspirational person? And the reason I ask that is because to me, you just seem like a genuine bloke who cares about yourself and cares about other people and wants to help people get what they want at the same time as being able to do what you do and deal with the challenges that you do.
Mm.
So, do you feel like an inspirational person? Do you go around saying, "Hey, I do this, so you must feel inspired by me"? Because I don't get that from you, but you definitely are. It's a bit of a
Mm.
paradox.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't take this with me and tell people and share it. Hey, look at me, I'm inspirational. I but I do know that and I feel that a lot and it makes me feel very happy sometimes because somebody like yourself just now might mention it. I know this, Max. You are. The way I see it, you are. And that makes me feel so good because
Yeah,
that's what I want to be.
great.
And being connected with a lot of foundations to do with disabilities, and then also staying in the fitness and health industry, they're two parts of um, struggles or two parts of goals, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I have my goals and my struggles with epilepsy. Some people might with a similar thing, disability, or even just a big, big injury that prevents them from doing things. So that is similar in a way.
yeah,
And then also the other part, which is the health and fitness or like body goals or strength goals and all that. And what I do is share that quote that I mentioned before that a disability does not make you disabled. disable, sorry, to do things, no matter what it is. And people believe that I talk to them. When
Well,
I talk to them, they believe that, and
we,
then I see them succeed, and I go, yes,
and that's the side of inspiration that you want to see, isn't it? Is that you embody it
yeah,
yourself, and people
mm,
can go right. There's the example. Let's
mm,
go.
yeah, yeah. That's really what I want, and I do know that, and that's purely with no arrogance. I do know that I am an inspirational person with on that side, and and that is why I have stayed connected with lots of foundations, with disability foundations, through the years. For example, my main one is Epilepsy Queensland. That's from me being in Brisbane here, and then also the Australian Epilepsy Project, things with them, and things with Epilepsy Australia as well. Lots of things. Just even sharing information on my previous scans.
Yep.
And then people see it and they go, "Oh my goodness, Max, so you're still working 6 days a week? Wow." And then I go, "Yeah." I say a lot of the time with my disability, sounds disrespectful and it's with no arrogance, but I truly don't care about my thing. I don't feel fully restricted, you know. So I go, some people check up and they ask me how my seizures are going, and I go, "Oh, it's not the best. I've had a few this week." They go, "Oh my goodness," which is great as friend or contact. They go, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Thank you for telling me though." And I go, "No, no, no, I appreciate that, but it's fine. It's fine. It's just like
Yep.
stubbing my toe. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't prevent it, but it's happened. And look at me now. I'm still standing. I'm still surviving. So thank you though, you
Loving
know."
the perspective, mate. I loving the
Yeah.
perspective. And speaking of perspective, just
Mm.
if you give it a little bit of thought if you need to, but what's any advice as a parent of a person living with epilepsy, as you know, um, do you have advice for parents who are bringing up children in the same way you had to deal with things with epilepsy?
I really I don't have a full view on what that's like. So, for example, because I'm not a parent, um, but I am good friends with people who are epileptic, diagnosed with that. So I do know in a different way,
Yep.
so I see it from an outsider. I see it um, from a different thing. And some of the people who I'm connected with have different types of seizures that I
Yep.
do. So I don't know what that feels like. So I know what a similar way to a parent. I do know. And what my parents have told me and what other parents who I've been connected with, for example, yourself, Mark, um, they've shared their thoughts and their words. So I know it. I know a lot now.
Yep.
Even from what my mother has written and talked about with, podcasts or projects or, general, great meetings, I suppose, um, with the foundations because they know her as well as a
Yep.
great mother with me. She's shared her opinions on it, and it is, of course, terrible because, you know, I know that as a parent, you don't even want your kid to really break their shoulder, you know. Of course, like you don't want your kid to miss lunchtime, maybe.
Yeah.
So then with a disability, with no disrespect to other people who get broken things, but that is quite another level up, as seriousness and possible life affecting.
Yeah.
So as a parent, I've heard, and I understand that it is very um, emotionally changing and um, can help them, sorry, not help them in a way, but also stop them in certain ways if they let it. If they let it reduce their confidence and reduce their feelings, then that can be bad. But then also they can just go, "No, okay, we need to learn more about this." So get connected with foundations or
Yeah.
even just purchase books and watch videos of neurologists talking and just learn things about it. Then that can grow your confidence in helping your child um, and grow and
Yeah.
succeed, I suppose. Learning good ways to prevent or reduce frequency of seizures. Yeah, yeah, it's it's a very big thing, but I do know that learning more about it helps a lot.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, absolutely, and totally agree.
Yeah.
Um, so let's get back to you and your fitness and your coaching and the things that you do for yourself and do so well. Do you do you have to like concentrate on being composed and staying well focused with what you're saying, doing, and when you're actually doing your own training at the gym, uh, because of what is unknown and the possibilities that could go on? Do you have to actually focus more than the other person might?
Um, when you say that, is focus more on them or focus on the topic that
Yeah,
they
just
say?
just everything in general, I guess, because of what I guess what I'm asking probably very poorly is is that fear that of the unknown and the fact that at any stage you could have one of those seizures. Does that come into your thinking and your setup for coaching, exercising, and everything else?
It does. Of course, in a negative way, of course, slightly, but in some ways, a positive way because I share with my client that, hey, a new client, I do bring it up, and
Yep.
they may know it already from seeing it on social media. But then I talk to them personally about it a little bit, and that is very good, because I can mention that as a struggle. For example, um, if they mention things that they don't know or they see something on the program that I've written them and they've never heard about that exercise or something like that, I go, oh yeah, yeah, I remember the days when I didn't. Um, so I'll talk to you about it. I'll explain it a bit more. And then even if I don't know too much, I might say, okay, well, hey, let me talk to another personal trainer that I know or look at some more details to share with you,
Yep.
something like that.
Yep.
So then, because I truly want them, of course, to learn for their knowledge, but then also learn more so that they can succeed in their fitness and health goals. Yeah.
And so the fact that you never know when a seizure might come along doesn't really come into play much.
Not too much, no, because I
No.
mentioned that and just I mention it to
Mm,
people. Apologies, it's all right.
no
Um,
problems.
um, I mentioned that to them, and I mentioned that similar to what I said earlier, about stubbing your toe.
Mm, yeah.
You don't know that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I might say to them, hey, if you get an injury, you know, keep me updated on it and let me know straight away, please, because I want you to be safe and I want you to succeed. So we might pause your exercising or pause your program while you're getting recovery for that. So then, yeah, it's similar to what I mentioned with my seizures and stuff. Like, hey, it kind of relates to this, Mark,
Yep.
because
Yep.
I might be working out, big focus on my body, but then I have a few seizures and I know that I might have to stop working out for a week,
And
something like that.
you can draw the parallels between what they're doing and what you've experienced before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
great.
then sometimes I can mention actually just general injuries as well, because I've had
Yeah,
that in my
yeah,
life.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Great, great. So there's always a way to, like I said before, I love your perspective on things, and there's always a way to incorporate what you've got to deal with and share it with other people in other ways. It's great.
Mm. No, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that.
So do you have, and I don't want to spend too long on negatives, but have you ever had any sort of you know, poor reactions when you've told people?
Occasionally, yes. Because unfortunately in the world there is disrespectful people towards people with disabilities. Um, and when I've told people, they may just instantly think, oh, okay, so what he's talking about and the way he acts now, that's just fake. And I've actually done some art in the past, um, and I've shared typical words mentioned. And that is, retarded, retard, you know, um, disabled and unfunctional, things like that. So people have said that about me or to me.
Yep.
And I go, okay, okay, well, and with no arrogance, I kind of reply in a argument way, I'll say. And I go, well, thank you for saying that. But what would you say about a person that's disabled and works full time and actually on the side has their own business? What would you say about that? Can you tell me? And
Yeah.
then they might stop and go, oh, um, and then I see them, thinking, and I go, yeah, because that's me, you know. You might see me, I'm actually wearing my uniform and I'm going to work now. And then on my lunch break, I might be sitting on my laptop doing my own business. And then late tonight, I'll be doing my own business too. And then, for example, and actually, I pay this much for my medication and I have to focus on that. So, do you think that this actually makes me, as you said, retarded?
Yeah.
Can you tell me? And then
Yeah. Good
that's kind
response.
of an argument way,
Mm.
I say, or sarcastic in a simple way,
Yeah.
kind of funny, I suppose.
Yeah.
But then it does stop them,
Yeah.
and makes them think, oh, yeah, geez, maybe I was wrong, or yeah, geez, he's right. Having a disability doesn't might not make you completely unfunctional,
Mm.
you know?
Obviously, that sort
Yeah.
of stuff doesn't happen a lot, I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, yeah,
But
no, not too
hopefully,
much.
hopefully, when it does, and you react the way you described, and let them know
Mm,
that hey, you're just as functional as anybody else.
mm.
Hopefully, that's the sort of light bulb moment that person needs to
Yeah.
go, hey, okay, maybe I think the wrong way.
And that is also relatable to throughout the years written on my resume for applications for jobs and things like that. I mentioned, of course, previous experience, previous jobs, knowledge, certifications, and all that stuff. Um, but I don't mention epilepsy or disability because, just like I said, lots of public see a disability as fully disable to
Yeah,
do anything.
yeah,
So then when they go, oh, okay, Max, do you want to come in for a meeting? We'd love to talk to you. And I go in for the first meeting for this job and they see me talking how I am like this. And I'm walking and I'm looking fairly good, healthy and whatnot. They go, okay, he's good. And then if I do succeed getting the job, they go, oh, thank you very much, Max. We'll be happy to have you on the team. I go, oh, thank you. But by the way, I just wanted to mention, um, if I'm ever working, I wanted to let you know that I am actually epileptic, and my seizures are um, absence and focal seizures, and this is what happens. Dot dot dot, and then they get quite surprised, but they see that I still function and talk well and
yeah,
normal,
yeah.
so they go, that doesn't bother them, I suppose.
And I guess that surprise is somewhat of a good thing
Mm,
because
absolutely.
unless you say so, they don't know, and they
Yeah,
would
exactly.
never have guessed it by looking at you and dealing with you
And
then.
they never would have guessed it. So then
Yeah,
if randomly one day at work, maybe seeing it,
mm,
they'd get quite shocked or
yeah,
quite, angry maybe in some way,
hmm
um, you know, and just, yeah, think lots, whatever they want, whatever they think, I suppose, you know. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk a bit more about your sporting side. You're an AFL lover still.
Hmm.
Um, what's your favourite AFL moment?
Oh, that's a big one. Probably 2 years ago, going to the first AFL grand final. And it was because my team was playing in that grand final,
Yeah,
and that's the first time I ever went to a grand final, and then two, that's actually the first time I've ever been to the MCG in
right.
Melbourne, and that was just life changing. My mother and I went when Brisbane Lions and the Sydney Swans were playing, and it was just life changing. Yeah, it was just amazing. So
Great.
yeah, that's probably one of my favorite things, or maybe previous times having a job at the Gabba, the
Yep.
stadium in Brisbane.
Yep.
So I've actually met a lot of the Brisbane Lions players on non-game days.
Yep.
So where they're a bit more casual and they're a bit more not so much focused on the thing that's coming up.
Yep.
So I've actually met a lot of them, and that's great, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
So yeah, that's probably one of the favorite things.
What was your job at the Gabba? What was your position there?
It was with a company that does the hospitality,
Yep.
and actually at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane as well. And that's for NRL or rugby union, and sometimes soccer or football
Yep.
is what I say. And then we do that company does the hospitality. So if you're ever at a game at these stadiums and you go to get some drinks or some food, snacks, whatever, they're the ones that are at the counter and doing that.
Hmm.
And there's two levels of it. And I was in the corporate level. So that was, you see the general seats in a stadium, and then you might see like the glass boxes up the
Yeah.
top. That's the corporate level.
Yeah.
So people can pay a lot of money for a suite or
Mm.
something like that. And I was working in that level, and it was great. One, because I'd get free games to watch,
Yeah.
of course. Of course it was work, so it was a little bit busy, but I'd still occasionally get to pause at the window and look out and see what's going on.
Yep.
And then it was also not just that, but not just games, but any event at the stadiums.
Yep.
So they didn't work with AFL or NRL. They just worked with Suncorp and Gabba.
Yep.
So I saw concerts and I saw lots of things working for that. And that's another job in my past that I was very happy with how supportive the managers and the bosses were with my epilepsy. So yeah,
Yep.
it was amazing. It was fun and great learning because fitness and health and then hospitality, they're the two main parts that I've been through in my life
Yep.
for work. So one, I was loving it because of the reason, and then two, I was just enjoying it because I like hospitality. Yeah,
Yeah. Great. Great.
yeah.
So from your best sporting experience to
Hmm.
your favorite sports person ever, who would that be?
Oh, I've never thought about this. The favorite sports person that I've met, or
Yeah. Oh, ever, anywhere.
anywhere. Oh, mate, that's hard. Oh.
Simple
Um,
question, but very hard to answer, isn't it?
that is very hard to answer because unlike many people, AFL is my number one sport, but I love sport in general.
Yes.
I love watching football, which is soccer for
Yep.
some people. I love NRL, even tennis and things like that. With no disrespect, I don't like cricket. That's what I'll say. I don't like cricket, but
Careful. Careful.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I love Olympics. I love that kind of stuff. I think it would have to be somebody who's Australian
Yep.
because there's more chance I might meet them.
Yep.
Mm,
We're staying with it until you give me one.
yeah. Oh, mate. Oh, mate. My mind is going nuts right now. Maybe. Oh, I think there's two people,
Give them both. That's fine.
or three people actually,
Yeah.
and they're in my two favorite sports actually. Um, One is possibly Chris Fagan,
Right.
and
Yeah.
and he's the coach of the Brisbane Lions in the AFL, and he's just amazing. He's inspirational. I've actually met him once, um, and because he's done so much and brought so much success for that team, and he's just
Yes.
a great guy anyway. And then also maybe in the AFL, um, Michael Voss,
Yes.
because that's back in the early days when I was a bit younger, but the Brisbane Lions were still amazing.
Yeah.
And they had the three grand finals in a row. And he was the
Yes.
captain back then. So, and I've briefly said hello to him
Right.
once. Um, and
Matching him for
then,
inspiration levels too, man.
Yeah, that's
Quite an
right.
quite an inspirational player, that guy.
Yeah, and recently actually quit from his job
Yeah,
coaching Carlton.
yeah, he
That
was on a hiding for
I
nothing
was quite
there.
I was quite shocked.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but then number three, maybe he's in a different sport. He's in NRL, and that's Wally Lewis.
Oh yes, yes.
One,
Now, yes.
because with the title of GOAT, lots of people have that
Uh-huh.
greatest of all time. He was an amazing player back in the day. But then also actually he's relatable to myself in a certain
Yeah.
way. I've met him many times because he's connected with Epilepsy Queensland
Uh-huh.
because he's been diagnosed with epilepsy.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's relatable.
Absolutely.
And he's just an amazing player anyway.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic, mate. That's great. We
I
got
think
the
even though I've given you those three answers, I'm probably still going to be thinking about this my whole life, the rest of the day.
you
You know,
can flick me a
maybe
text or something if you if you think of somebody else.
Christian Ronaldo, that
Yeah.
plays in the soccer,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know. I don't know.
There's
But
plenty to
yeah,
pick
I think
from.
those three.
It's a very open
Yeah,
question, isn't it?
that is.
Okay,
Oh,
so
mate.
from there to one more open question.
Yep.
If you could have anybody who you would consider a local legend, someone with a great
hmm
story, loves their
hmm
sport, whether playing or volunteering or anything like that, if you could pick one person that you know to have
Okay.
this to tell their story, who would it be?
And when you say local, you mean like, because of course I know a few famous sports players, they lived in Brisbane, whatnot.
Mhm.
But so you're saying they're not quite
Not
like
necessarily a
that
high profile
famous,
person, just
high profile? Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm. That's hard to say. I think um I haven't seen this person in a long time, but he actually plays for Brisbane Lions now.
okay,
And I played with him back when I lived in Noosa
right,
in Sunshine Coast. And we played for the Noosa Tigers.
yeah,
And that his name is Jack Payne.
oh yeah, yeah,
He's not playing at the
on the
moment
injury
because
list at the moment, isn't he?
yeah,
Yeah.
he's on the injury list,
Mm.
exactly. But yeah, he plays for them now, and he was when we were all in school and stuff. He was an amazing athlete with lots of things. I think he did um, disc throwing, I think,
Yep.
um, and then um, he was doing basketball as well, and then he played AFL for like the Queensland team when we were teenagers and stuff, and then bunch of things. So then when I found out that he um, finished his way and actually made it to AFL playing for Brisbane Lions, that was kind of like, oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, yeah,
I
wow.
used to play with him when we were kids. That's kind of good, I think. And because he
Yeah, it's
still
pretty cool.
recognizes me occasionally as well, if I see him somehow. Um, Either him, because I know him and he's been successful in that sport industry, or maybe some of the people who I actually work with
Yeah,
in my gym, because in my opinion, they're very, very amazing with their fitness and health goals, for themselves.
yep,
They've very good bodies and good fitness and everything like that. And then also they support me and they believe in a lot of things that I say, and they're amazed on what I do with the foundations that I do, the things that I do with this stuff.
yep,
So they're very amazing, supportive, and I'm slightly more connected to them, not just a general friend or a general
yeah,
colleague, you know, and they're great in that way in the fitness and health, what they do. I love seeing them succeed, but then also to me, they're very supportive and we love each other, I'll say.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, maybe them as well.
yeah.
Mm,
Great, great,
yeah.
great. We'll see what we can do. We might try and get one of your colleagues on, or Jack Payne himself. We'll see how we go.
That was if you saw the shadow walking behind me a
Yes,
bit
yes.
earlier. That was one of them, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm actually in the staff room
Oh,
at
right. You're there now. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, on that note, mate, we'll finish things up. It's been great chatting to
Right.
you. And as I've mentioned, you're an inspirational person. You're a local legend around your area. and in what you do.
Thank you.
And you've got every reason to be proud of yourself. And this episode today has been close to my heart, and you know the reasons why.
Yeah.
As a parent of an epilepsy sufferer, so it's great to know that there are people out there like yourself, like my son, who are just so positive, have the greatest perspective on life, have their challenges, but are so resilient, and we'll keep moving forward despite what society says. And but generally speaking, find out that society doesn't really hold you back too much if you don't look for it.
That's right. Yeah, and that's amazing, and that's why I've since we ever got connected, you and I, and you shared things about your son and everything, and in a certain way, it is relatable, with the basic stuff, but then also it's inspirational in another way to me because he's a lot younger than me and everything like that. So, and then you yourself, you've shared things as a father, and so I get to know a little bit. My father's told me about things from his side, but it's still different hearing it from another father of a son who's epileptic. So the connection that we've had and the friendship that we made a long time ago, that's great, Mark. I appreciate this so much.
Likewise, mate. I appreciate you and your time. Thanks for being part of the Local Legends podcast.
Thank you.
As we wrap up this episode, one of the things that stood out to me most about Max's story is that resilience isn't always loud. Sometimes resilience is simply showing up again tomorrow. It's adapting when life throws something unexpected your way. It's refusing to let a challenge define what's possible. And it's continuing to move forward, even when the path ahead isn't the one you originally planned. Throughout this conversation, Max shared some deeply personal experiences, but he also shared something far more powerful: perspective. No matter what challenge you're facing right now, I hope there's something in this episode that reminds you of your own ability to keep going, keep growing, and keep finding a way forward. Max, thank you for your honesty, your vulnerability, and for sharing your story with us. And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us for another episode. This has been Local Legends. I'm Mark Collins, and I'll see you next time.